Once again, welcome to that here show. A stories written by a current prisoner with your favorite journalist, Tony. We're gonna go ahead and waste no time whatsoever, man. We're gonna dive right into it. Just real quick, man. This lifestyle ain't even worth it. I'm not even gonna go ahead and babble on and off about it, man. But these types of stories, man, they're very rare, man. You look up an article about this situation, this incident. There's not even a picture of the victim, man. There's not even hardly any information about it, man. So I hope you can appreciate this story, man. With that being said, man, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking those 10 minutes out every day and watching this show. I would not be here if it wasn't for you. Just want to let you know that I appreciate it. Let's go.
All right, bro. Hey, look, this once again, hey, they used to call me Negro. I used to be from East Side Dude, you know what I mean? And I used to be ex-Sureño, you know what I mean? I used to be part of the mob, you know what I mean? So I'm going to tell you guys a story about Wasco, you know what I mean, 2013, when a homie got shot and killed because of a riot that happened between the homies, you know what I mean? It was an inner, like an inner thing that happened, you know what I mean? This riot kicked off with each other. I mean, it all came down because in 2013, there was a lot of new homies that started coming down from other prisons, you know what I mean? They started coming down from Calipatria, Pelican Bay, and all these other places, you know what I mean? And they were ordered to reestablish the mesa in the yard. So basically, when they got there, they went around, you know what I mean, and they started setting everything up. And during this time, I used to be a bloquero in one block. That was A1. You know what I mean? And a lot of people that were there, they're going to know what I'm talking about, this riot that happened there. Because it happened and unfortunately someone died. You know what I mean? And it was over stupid-ass drugs, politics, all these dumb-ass, that people don't understand, you know what I mean? It gets people killed. So for you individuals, you know what I mean, that think, you know what I mean, that this is a lifestyle, you know what I mean, and that this and this and this and that the homies are going to be there for you, it's all lies and bull. They're not. They will let you die, you know what I mean, and they will kill you over some freaking drugs and politics, bro. So this is where it started at, bro. So basically, they went around, bro, and they started asking everybody how much money they owed to, who they owed it to, if they owed it to any other races, to any other factions. And they went around. So basically, at the end of the day, nobody was supposed to owe any money. You know what I mean? Everybody's debt was supposed to be cleared. So when this was happening, there was another group of people. Because you got to remember, in prison, people might think, oh, it's all homies and this and this and that. Yeah, in true reality, it is. But there's a lot of set tripping. You know what I mean? And set tripping, when I mean to set tripping, there's a lot of groups. There's a lot of different factions of areas. Southern California, you know what I mean, it gets split up. It goes to the IE, San Diego area, goes to the Orange County, goes to the LA car, and so forth, because then they start tripping, you know what I mean, by LA, to the south side, you know what I mean, to the southeast, northeast, you know what I mean, like all these different parts of LA. So everybody's tripping in their own little car. And then you got the homies from upstate, you know what I mean, and it just, there's so many different little groups, you know what I mean, that split up with each other. So during this time, there was a group from Orange County, and these vatos from Orange County, they used to trip a lot because they were kind of deep right there in that yard during that time. So there was some dude that came from Orange County. He was from Santa Anita, you know what I mean? And this fool thought, he was plugged in, and he used to be plugged in. But this fool was in bad terms with his people, you know what I mean? Which was, old boy from Orange County, you know what I mean? And so this fool got there and he started mixing up the whole little pot. You know what I mean? He started, putting a lot of homies against the mesa that were there. You know what I mean? He kept, putting their head. So at the end of the day, this vato drifted from Moore Park, which was from Ventura County. He was there. I knew the vato very good. He was a friend of mine. And but he was real strung out on drugs a lot. He was in my block. He was in one block. And I remember the day, because I remember the day how exactly it happened. You know what I mean? It was during nighttime, and during that time I was close custody, so I had to go in real early. And I remember the blacks came up to me, some bloods, and they were like, hey, bro, can we get at you? And I was like, what's up? And I was like, what's up, homie? What's going on? And they were like, hey, well, check this out. Hey, you guys, homie, you drifter. He owes us some money, bro. I'm like, what you mean he owes you some money? So how much does he owe you? He goes, oh, he owes us about $300. Then he owes my boy with $100. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah. He goes, well, he bought some grams from us. I like, some grams? He was like, yeah. He goes, he bought some grams of black from us. You know what I mean? I was like, what the for those individuals that don't know what black is, you know what I mean? Black tar. Well, then I'm like, I'm tripping. I'm like, what the nobody's supposed to be owing nobody money whatsoever. So when these individuals told me that this individual owed them black, you know what I mean, that owed them money for that black, I had him and he tripped out. I was like, what the what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, this shouldn't be happening. So right away at that moment, there was two homies in the block with me on the mesa. The homie Droopy, was one of them from Linwood. And I got a dripping. I told him, what's up, homeboy? I told him, check this out, fool. I told him, hey, homie. I told this vato just got at me, you know what I mean? I told these sangres, I told them these bloods, I told them they just got at me. I told them they're talking about this owes them money, fool. And so they're like, what do you mean these fools owes them money? So it became a big old thing, you know what I mean, to where we got that strip and we're like, hey, what's going on, homie? You know what I mean? Why you owe this money? You know what I mean? Like, then we clear everybody's debt. We clear your debt too, homie. Because at that time, before we cleared debts, Drifter was in a lot of debt. He owed a lot of money to a lot of people in a lot of different races. So he cleared all the way off. So the homies were upset. You know what I mean? They were mad. Well, Drifter got that old boy, Creeper. That was his name, Creeper from Orange County. A big freaking fat dude, you know what I mean? Kind of big, you know what I mean? And he went and got him because that was his boy in the yard. That's the dude from Orange County. So when he got at him, he just started telling him, oh, yeah, the homies are tripping on me. Well, these fools, amongst themselves, us not even knowing that these fools are over here freaking plotting, talking about, oh, well, yeah, the homies move on, you don't trip on me, you got to, and this and this and that. So, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't know about that. So, it went back and forth, you know what I mean, to where the homies were getting at this fool, like, hey, what's up, homie? Like, because once I notified the Mesa and I told him what was going on, basically, I was put out to the side because the Mesa was taking care of it after that, you know what I mean? So, I was aware of the things that were going on with them, but they were the ones in charge of doing the decisions of what was going to happen to this individual. So it came down to, they told him, like, hey, fool, you got something coming, homie. You know what I mean? Basically, you got something coming, homie. You should never get yourself in debt. So, you know what I mean? So these individuals, you know what I mean? Like, he knew what was going to happen to him. You know what I mean? He knew he had something coming for this because he... So when all going on, the homies went out to the yard. They were like, hey, homie, check this out, fool. Like, like, try that fool. Like, we got to get at you. Well, the homies moved on him. You know what I mean? The homies moved on him, and they put two homies on this fool. You know what I mean? They started this fool. They beat this fool in the yard. Well, when this was happening, the old boys from Orange County, you know what I mean, they wanted to act stupid, and they jumped up. They jumped up when this was happening in the yard. You're not supposed to do that. Anytime you do that in the yard, I mean, and it's politically wise, or, it has to do something with the yarda, you know what I mean, with the mesa, or with the casa, what they call it, you're basically going against the grain, you know what I mean? And they're going to take that as a threat. They're going to take it as, like...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Like, what are you doing, homie? You ain't supposed to be going against the grain like that, homeboy. So when that happened, the homies got upset. They were like, all right, fools, you know what I mean? So they took note of the people that did that. They were like, okay, you want to jump up when we're doing a holly and we're taking care of business? They were like, okay. So then the homies started tripping on the homies from Orange County. They started hollering at them, hey, fool, what's up, homie? Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, homie, what you guys did was excuse me, homie, like, basically you guys are trying to interfere with casa business, homie. You know what I mean? You guys are supposed to be doing, homie, like, no, now we're freaking putting homie, you fools. So the individuals that did that, homie, got something coming. You know what I mean? So when this was going on, the homies were like, hey, you know what? Yeah, homie, these vatos got something coming, you know what I mean? So then a couple of days went by, you know what I mean? And then the next day in the morning, you know what I mean? Like, they were supposed to be taking care of that. So when the homies were going, they were going to take care of this, you know what I mean? The homies approached these vatos, you know what I mean? And they knew what was coming. They had gave them a heads up, you know what I mean? They always give you, most of the time they always give you a heads up, of what's going to happen. So, so they walked up to them and they told me, hey, homie, you vatos got something coming. So the next day in the yard, these fools freaking waited. They knew what was going to happen, so they started releasing from the opposite side. They started, because it goes, they release 1 block at a time. So they started releasing 5 blocks, and then they went to 4 blocks, and they went to 3 blocks. So when they got to 3 blocks and they were going to 2 blocks, the homies came out. Well, the homies freaking moved on these fools. But when the homies moved on these fools, the homies from Orange County jumped up. You know what I mean? Because the homies got at the homies from Orange County that had jumped up the previous couple of days before when they did that to Drifter. So when the homies from Orange County jumped up, they stopped. I mean, we had homies running from every direction, you know what I mean, getting at these fools, you know what I mean? So it's going on and cracking, you know what I mean? The freaking riot's kicking off in the freaking yard, and the homies are getting it, you know what I mean? All other homies, you know what I mean, all other Southern Hispanics got off on all the homies from Orange County. So all the homies from Orange County were being attacked by the homies, you know what I mean? And that goes to show you, know what I mean, like, it doesn't matter. If they don't care, how much, who you are, or how much you've done for them, if they feel that you're a threat to them, or you're a threat to their business, or whatever, or to their program, they will attack you, and they will get you. So during this
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So during this whole riot, there's people are getting stabbed. And so the cops in the tower, I mean, they seen it. And there was a little homie. That fool was 19 years old, bro. He didn't have no weapon in his hand or nothing. I mean, but this fool was getting at one of the homies, and the cops, seen that, but they flew up. They were riding for the buildings, because you got to remember, every building tower has a gun. They have a Mini 14. Every freaking building has a Mini 14. So when they seen this, they looked at the homie, and they shot. Boom! They shot him, and they hit him right in the chest. So when like the homie freaking fell, and the riot's still going. You know what I mean? The riot kept going, and the homie didn't realize that the homie got shot. You know what I mean? It wasn't until afterwards, you know what I mean, was pulled down, and everybody got on the ground that, they were like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, they started seeing that the homie was on the freaking floor bleeding. You know what I mean? He had a gunshot to his chest. So as the homie's laying on the freaking ground, the cops, you know what I mean, they ran into the yard, you know what I mean, they started securing everybody, you know, started cuffing everybody with the plastic gloves, you know what I mean, and they seen the homie had a gunshot in his chest. You know what I mean? So they started bumping on him, you know what I mean, they started doing CPR on him, trying to revive him, you know what I mean, they put him on a gurney, you know what I mean, and unfortunately, I mean, the homie didn't make it, he died, you know what I mean? He died on the yard that night, you know what I mean, well, that day in the morning, you know what I mean, he died. He didn't make it. You know what I mean, he got airlifted out, but he didn't make it, you know what I mean, that freaking gunshot, I mean, that 223 hit him behind the chest, man. I mean, he didn't have no chance. You know what I mean? But that goes to show you, I mean, that these individuals do, bro. These fools, you know what I mean, do politics, you know what I mean, and they don't give about nobody. You know what I mean? Politics, that's the way it is. You know what I mean? Prison politics. These fools, you know what I mean, will take any money or anything over anybody else. You know what I mean? And due to you, and to them, you're just another number. You're just another little freaking pawn that they can throw away to the side. That way, for you individuals that think, oh, now my homies got me, and this and that. Nah, bro, trust me. I know what I'm telling you, bro. These fools don't got you. These fools don't give about you, you know what I mean? Like, straight up. You know what I mean? They might tell you this and that in the street during the moment that you know you're out there, but once you get to prison, then you're going to see the true reality of it. Even in the county jails. You know what I mean? I see so many fools get beat up right there for stupid that wasn't true or that wasn't cleared up. And unfortunately, you know, they bit the bullet, you know what I mean? And they had to take it. But, I mean, but that goes to tell you right there, I mean, I showed you there's something, you know, that really happened, you know what I mean? Hurt, you know what I mean? Because that little homie was a little kid. And unfortunately, his family had to know, you know what I mean, that their son, you know what I mean, on his first term got shot and killed over some stupid-ass dope, over some dumb-ass politics, you know what I mean? So, I mean, like, hey, to all you individuals out there, you know what I mean, that are thinking about joining these games, bro, think about it twice, bro. Because it's not worth it, you know what I mean? And I tell you that, bro, because I know how it is, bro.